Good morning, everybody. It is time to do another exciting episode of the Mirage Monarch. So let's do that. That actually just reminded me to double check my videos here. Let me do that real quick first. Salutations, good morning, my name is Phil. Because I did that one already. We did that already. Alright, so let me just check this last video here. Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JCServant. That looks like Foidling Doll in action, so we got that already. Alrighty. Let me take a look at our enhancements here. Okay, we got a level 15 enhancement, so we're doing good on the enhancement side. Got some extra things we can sell here. Let me turn up the sound of the game a bit. That would be helpful. Now, let's see. What's our current contact? We've got Mickey the Ear and Port Oaks. Oh my gosh, it is going to be one of those days. Let's go over to Port Orcs. That's where all the cool kids are hanging out, are Port Orcs. Meet me up in Point Orcs. Mickey the Ear. Let me just pull that up. And hey, how's it going, Roel? Welcome to my surprise early morning stream. Meaning I got up a little early, had a little bit of a headache and stuff, and so my loss of sleep is going to be y'all's gain, as we're going to create a bit of a video here, right? We're going to do Mickey the Ear story arc. Mickey the Ear story arc. And this is level 11 or 12 or something. Like, we're at level 12, right? We're at level 12. These are the things we have to think about when we do these things. Let me just double check on my other videos how I'm making these thumbnails, because I already forgot. I forgot content. So we did level 11. Yeah, we're just doing Mickey the Ear story arc on this. Okay. Mickey the Ear story arc is good to go. How are you doing, Roel? How's it going? You know, Reunion's so nice and quiet here. You just hear the birds in the background in the game, and you're just like, ah, peace. Alright, let me do an official recording here. Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JCServant, and welcome to another exciting adventure of the Mirage Monarch. As we continue to do this solo self-funded character slowly up through the villain levels, it is time to do Mickey the Ear's story arc. So let's just jump into it. It's an honor to meet you, Mirage Monarch. I'm Mickey the Ear, snitch extraordinaire. Well, you've made a big name for yourself. I'll let you in some big jobs. I mean big, like robbing banks in Paragon City big. I'll let you know when by putting in a secret code in the island, the Rogue Island Protector. Look for it while you're planning your schemes, and we'll make some serious moolah together. Capiche? Also, I ain't the only guy out there who's got some stuff for you to do. Pulling off these jobs will get you introduced to some contacts who have some more specific stuff to do. And there's even guys hanging around the Rogue Isles who will just give you jobs if you think you are up to snuff. Performing a set number of newspaper missions will get you a mayhem mission where you rob a bank in Paragon City. After that, you'll earn a contact in the zone if any are available in your level range. In addition, there are some contacts, NPCs with yellow rings around their feet, that simply require you to have a particular badge before they will issue missions to you. Click on any NPC you see with a yellow ring to see if they have any jobs for you to do. Now that you've been introduced to your broker, you can start scanning the Rogue Isles paper protector, a local newspaper for things going on in your current zone. You can then act on your schemes by selecting from the newspaper list under your contacts. Every 3 successful schemes, your broker will tip you off to heist and other special missions, as well as introduce you to new contacts with stories and missions of their own. So this system confuses me nowadays because I don't know how much of this has changed, right? Because you've got the find contact button up here, which I don't think this was in live, but this will introduce you to contacts that you may or may not have been introduced to properly anyways through other people. And then there is the Ouroboros, which will allow you to do things with people who you haven't been properly introduced to yet, and all that other fun jazz. But what I have been finding out more and more in the last week is that in Ouroboros, there are missions that are not listed at all that become unhidden when you do certain things. There are some missions that are listed that they won't even let you start unless you've done certain things, and a lot of times that's not even told to you in any way, shape, or form, and you've got to figure it out for certain missions. It is a very, very confusing system. I posted, on their forums about this to try to. I feel like this system could use a bit of an overhaul here. Now, generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of doing newspaper missions because they don't give any rewards other than being introduced to a new contact. You get the same rewards you would by street sweeping, essentially. But he is saying he's going to introduce some new contacts. So I am going to go ahead and do these every few levels. I'll knock out and see if I can be introduced to a new contact or whatever the case may be, and just to experience that system more directly and see what I can put together in terms of unlockables so that I can talk about this a little bit more intelligently in the future. Oh, this time we're getting this jamming villain street music, I suppose. Her next power is definitely gonna be flight. No joke. Come out and play. Alright. Well, we just have to defeat Golan in the guard, so there is an argument made for zipping to the end and just getting the mission done. But XP is always nice, especially when you don't have double XP. So we'll see who we beat up along. Of course, there may not be anybody on the way. This has got to be one of the most unoccupied caves I have seen so far. Not a single mob to be found anywhere. Very crazy. I am streaming this as well as recording this for a future video, so I'm going to say hi to Mr. Chris here. How are you doing this morning? It's a pleasure to see you. Oh, we finally found some guys to beat up. Yeah, you're dead now. And get this guy here. It's hard to see exactly what you're doing in these caves. Now, you can kind of see here in the log up here, I had confusion going on one of the enemies, and he was wailing down the other enemy. It doesn't look like I suffered any real XP penalty since each of them gave me 45 XP. But some of that was done through confusion, so I don't know. This is a very short mission, though. This is extremely short mission. And there we go. It was really that easy. That's got to be one of the shortest newspaper missions you could ever do. It's like 4 in the morning. It is 5:45 over here, and yeah, I woke up a bit earlier than normal. I think I was just a bit headachy this morning, and it woke me a bit early. So we'll do another one. We'll do another newspaper mission here. So we'll try out this context system here. So we need to do 3 newspapers. The buildings here. I don't even know how you handle this with super speed. There's just the city is so poorly laid out, and there's crates and everything in the street because that's what we do with crates nowadays. We just stick them in the middle of the streets, guys. Did I lose track? Where's that door at? There it is. Oop, come on, get off the... Oh my gosh. Jeez, oh Pete's, get out of there. Alright. Let's go over here. How are you doing this morning, Damien? Or Damianate? Alright, let's do this mission. Go ahead and pull that guy up. See what we got here. We just have to defeat a bunch of guards. Oh, we could definitely have more enemies in this one. So we're going to use our usual. Go ahead and confuse this guy. Dominate this guy. And beat the Pazuzu out of him. Byes. That's called the byes. Byes. Not too shabby. Let's turn off the travel power so we're not chewing down endurance like nobody's business. We'll go this way and then this way. Oh, we've got quite the little pack there, don't we? That's a little above the norm. Do I have to set the times too? No. Okay. Well, the nice thing about confusion is it doesn't really start combat. For the caster. So we're gonna confuse these two here, have them help me out against this lieutenant. Oh, no one said you weren't allowed to not be confused. Oh, we can't have that lieutenant coming right at me either. Uh-oh, I have an endurance... Oh, do I have an endurance issue? No. I thought I heard the endurance sound. Just getting a little worried there. Alright, I knew that was going to be a little bit of a tougher pack there. Generally, when you see a lieutenant, you only get one minion with it, but I guess RNG plays a role. Now, you see a minion there by himself, you can guarantee he's got buddies around that corner, at least one buddy. Oh gosh, he missed with confusion again? I gotta double check the accuracy on that guy. Anybody there? Of course there's somebody right there. There he goes. Let me just knock this guy around too. It looks like a little ragdoll there. Alright, we're looking for Howard and his guards, and there's a rifleman. That's not Howard. They're not in the back here? That is most unusual. He could be in that other large area on the other side. Yeah, I'm thinking they're on that other side there. We'll go and check that out. Usually this, there he is right there. Usually this stuff is as far away from the entrance as you can possibly get, but occasionally they surprise you. Oh, there's a lieutenant right there. My little pet helped to beat him up. Good job, pet. Good job. Okay, now we need to get rid of Howard. Howard's got a few people here that could become a nasty chain if I'm not super careful. I do have my... Oh, I have something going on there. Let's see if we can hold Howard rather well. Give him a little terror here to make sure he stays inaccurate. Oh great, now I'm the one sleeping. I want to wake up with my wakey. There we go. It's about to use it. My little pet put that guy to sleep. Good job, pet. Good job. He's doing some heavy lifting there. I guess we gotta kill these guys too. Oh, that did not proc the mission. Alright, let's see what's up here. We'll just clear out this whole room. We'll clear out the whole darn dungeon if we have to. I like how when you hit him, his little spirits go with him as well. There we go. Level 13. Woot woot. One level away from flying. Never thought I'd be so happy to see flying. Well, let's see here. The Arbiter's right around there. So we'll go and get to him with our mini super speed mini jump. These guys have some weird city layout stuff going on here. They did not consult any real planners in putting this thing together. What is this? A merit vendor? Really? Just standing here? Oh, yeah, it is a merit vendor. Is this on the map? Has this always been here? I mean, Yeah, I mean, I suppose she's right on top of them on there, but okay. All right, did not know there was a merit vendor there. At the old travel power school. You know, it just kind of ended out that way, Chris. Usually, so Chris is asking, am I getting my travel powers at the old travel power star level, which it is 14, right, normally. There's two, so my rule for thumb in doing characters is I need to have travel at or by level 14, because when you do Ouroboros, usually the lowest level your exemplar down to is 14. There are a couple that are level 12. In terms of your powers, right? They'll say they're exemplaring you down to 9, so you get your powers to 14. Occasionally, there's one that's 7, which would imply you get them till 12. But those are usually require very little travel in them anyways, because they're made for super low-level players. So, yeah, my general rule of thumb is I have to make sure I have it by, by 14. So... now sometimes I will pick it up at like level 8, level 10, level 6, because there might be a level in there where I don't see anything otherwise good to take, and that's usually a good time to pick it up, is when you're looking around going, okay, there's nothing really great here for me. So yeah, so we have Spectral Whale. Let me just take a look here. We have our damaging things are doing pretty good so far. You can always stick another red in them, but you start getting diminishing returns with the next one there. So I'm not usually in a rush to put a fourth one there. These powers here for a Dominator are not your main damage dealers, but they can hold people and do damage at the same time. So the T1, T2 do a little bit of lifting in both cases. On that. They both have some... They both have, it looks like, some inherent accuracy already. So I'm a little hesitant. I could watch the miss chances, but I'm a little hesitant to put a third one in there to rush to more accuracy. And I do have a hold here. I could put a third one for a whole duration. I could put a third one in there for more damage. We could have the pet show up more often with a recharge. With some recharge in here. The pet's been kind of cool. Does his own little thing. I don't think enemies target him a whole lot, if at all. But this is supposed to be, I guess at the end of the day, you're playing Illusion. You're playing something that's more of a pet class. So perhaps I'll put my 2 slots into there for now. Superior Invisibility I've been using. Yeah, because I don't look to rush to put any more into Psionic Assault, so we'll put some in the pet here and do a recharges on those. And we have one more newspaper mission to do. Let me just grab those recharges real quick from the Quartermaster. Get rid of some of these enhancements along the way. And we'll grab a couple of recharges. Alright. This will help this guy to pull up a little more often for us. What's interesting is that first one that you put in there takes you from 45 down to 32. But the next one only takes you down to 26. So that first one saved you, what, 12 seconds? The next one only saves you 6 more seconds. Very fascinating. Hey, Rising 8 has just joined the chat. I need to figure out how to get the YouTube chat on the screen here. But yes, hello. How's it going? Alright, so we'll do one more. I think I have to do one more newspaper mission to get the bank heist. So we'll go ahead and defeat this guy here. And then we should have a bank heist, which, funny story, when I did the first bank heist with Stardust, who I recently did a character spotlight on Stardust, it turned out to be very difficult. She got thrown in jail, and it's really, really hard to get out of jail as a Dominator. Dominators really don't do all that much damage, so it was most unfortunate. Let me see if I put that pet there. Well, did he somehow end up inside the wall? Oh, you're still alive. Now you're not alive anymore. Let's convert these 3 into a break free. Nothing's worse than being a Dominator who's being dominated. I'm gonna fuse this guy here. I'm gonna put down my pet again. Now for science, I'm gonna kill this guy first. The confused dude. Well, if I, can actually hit him. So here's this lieutenant. I just wanted to see if the spectral doohickey did anything aside from fearing him once in a while. Doesn't look like, if there's any damage being done, doesn't look like there's a lot of damage. No. So the pet doesn't actually do any damage, it just constantly casts fear and stuff. One of the things about soloing is you get to know your powers and your pets really well. You put them through a few tests, you see how well they do. Because your intimate knowledge of your powers and the way that they work might save your skin a few times throughout the leveling process. So you basically want to make sure you're on top of that. The villains do like to get stuck in walls, don't they, Roel? It's like they enjoy being there. Is he going after somebody? Yeah, most of the time if someone's confused and they're going after somebody, or they're running away, it's because they're going after somebody else. It's out of your line of sight. Defeat Zeke and the guards. That might mean beat everybody up in this room. That's what happened last time. But we'll try to find Zeke first, just in case. Just in case I'm wrong on that. I don't see a Zeke. Is he here? Here, Zeke. I hate to use the stupid-ass jetpack, but where is Zeke? Rifleman, slugger. There he is, right there, Phil. Open up your eyes, man. Open up your eyes. Alright, we're gonna put him there. We're gonna put the pet there. Let the pet have a little fun. Alright. So is that pet not close enough to Zeke? So another thing you're looking at is like, how close do you have to be to the pet for the pet to do anything? Apparently the pet has to be kissing them on the forehead practically, because he's not doing anything to Zeke back there, so... Oh no, he was just waiting for me to initiate combat. Okay. The pet, good to know, pet doesn't like to initiate combat. Well, I'm sleeping. Zeke is afraid. This is what happens when you get a bunch of Mez controlling people against each other. You get a very slow fight. Okay, that did not finish the mission, so apparently we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Okay, another set of these guys are done. Let's go grab these guys down here. We have a, by the way, we have a survey up. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but there is a link in the Discord server, or I could always throw it in the channel here if someone needs it. But it's helping to build the next full story arc character. The next solo self-funded character that I'm going to do will be a hero this time. And it'll be somebody that I do side by side, in a manner of speaking, with the Monarch. We'll do lots of their stories together. Where are you going, buddy? Don't run off. So the survey is for you guys to help make that character. Uh-oh, I got an endurance issue. No, not an endurance issue. Guess turning off invisibility would help. And there we go. That mission's completed. Now I'm turning visibility back on. So let's see here. We looked at the thing and oh, you looking in today's headline, you see Mickey the Ear has planted a secret message just for you. It says to stop by for a tip on a really big job. So we have to, I guess we have to go back and talk to Mickey to get the bank heist, right? Now, this is going to be one of those sad villain bank heists. You know, the kind where you rob a bank, but you don't actually get to keep any of the money, which makes you wonder why you robbed the bank to begin with, or you attempted to rob the bank to begin with. I mean, did you really rob it if you didn't get anything from the bank? That would just be called an attempt at that point, right? Ready to cause some mayhem in Paragon City? Go to Kings Road and hit one of the banks there. Once you hit Kings Road, you have 15 minutes to rob the bank and escape. This is a mayhem mission. You can earn extra reward time by destroying property and creating diversions away from the bank itself. Each type of item rewards a single time bonus after you destroy a certain number of that item. For each person on your team, you will need to destroy more of that particular item to get the time bonus. 2 random side missions can be found on this map. Keys, found by defeating certain enemies, are needed to unlock these side missions. Each completed side mission also rewards a time bonus. Every character that is at least level 10 receives a special temporary power the first time they complete these missions. Now, personally, I've done these a few times. I've never found the rewards to be compelling enough to actually do these things. Not when you compare, like, so even the disappointing story arc rewards will give you 150 to 300,000 influence via merit rewards, right? And for the bank mission, you just get a temporary power that is very, very lackluster, generally speaking. But I don't really, yeah. Let's see what you're saying here. Let's see here. I feel like you absolutely have to run endurance reductions on toggles and skills with illusion, or endurance is a major. Oops, I got my microphone turned up a little too soft or too good. Yeah. Generally, I put some endurance reduction on toggles. Absolutely. After our chat about leveling controllers, I started a new one, Earth in Time, and after 7 hours of play, he hit level 10. In my comparison, my recent Sentinel was 13 in the same time. Are you using arcane bolts with that and stuff, like the way I showed you? Because you should be going through things pretty quickly. Now, to be fair, even in a best case scenario, a Dominator or Controller is going to always level more slowly than a Blaster or Sentinel. Why? Because when you go into a combat, the very first thing a sentinel does is kill. Like the very first thing, I'm sorry, arrest. They're doing the damage, which is moving the game towards the end state, right? Whereas with let's say a dominator, right? Instead of like hitting this guy normally with an attack power first, I would generally speaking hit him with a control power first, and that control power does very little damage. Now, I'm not doing it with this guy. I'm attacking him straight up. And I killed him as fast as most Sentinels would right there. If I go on the offense as a Dominator, I can kind of get through these guys nearly as fast as, you know, and as whatever. And the same thing, by the way, with your controllers using my Arcane Blast method, you can get through guys pretty darn quick and whatnot. So, bonus time. We're just gonna break a whole bunch of these crates, I suppose. Yeah. Now you got to make sure you use the arcane bolt in the right order, right? You got to hold them first, make sure they're held, and then arcane bolt them, right? That's the key, because the arcane bolt will only do roughly half as much damage if that enemy's not held first. Bonus destruction time. 1 minute 30 seconds for crates. Well, wait till they see what I can do to the cars. I hate cars of all types. They're destroying the environment. They're as bad as AI. Kill all the cars. People should use public transportation. Better yet, people should just stay home. No more cars. I probably should turn off. Stop it, kitty. Bad cat. Should probably turn off the it's early for you, Uncle Sloth. How are you doing today? How's it going? So the Dominator and controllers are usually using their opening gambits to hold things down like this. And it just, you know, even if their powers did as much damage as a Sentinel, which, you know, generally speaking it doesn't quite, you're just taking more time to get the job done because you don't even start off damaging the enemy a lot. You're more concerned about locking things down to begin with. With that being said, you know, I think my Dominator does okay. But yeah, I don't know if I would say, if I put them side by side, I think I would, I don't know, I don't think my Sentinel would necessarily get to 13 if I'm playing my Dominator properly, or my controller properly, in the time that it takes them to get to 10. There is a huge difference, right, between 10 and 13, like, because the XP needed to get a level goes up, like the time it takes the level, I should say, goes up with each level. So if you're telling me basically it's almost like 50% more time to get from the amount of time it takes you to get from 1 to 10, you'd have to probably spend 50% more of that time. Wow, hold on a second here. Speaking of controls, so see, I'm gonna have to spend the first few actions here just getting these guys under control, right? And I'm getting my butt kicked, and wow, there is a lot of these guys here, and my cat has decided to make a big pain out of the ass of himself. There's too many for me to do. I don't have AoE holds, and these guys are just coming out of the woodwork. This is what happened a little bit with the Stardust when I did this with Stardust. Oh, look, they come outside. How quaint. She literally just came right out of the bank. So anybody else who wants to come out of that bank? Oh, the door's opening. Here's another one. And it's the one that's heard from before. Oh, that is hilarious. Well, this is the way to do this right here. That is funny. Anybody else want to come out that door? So yes, in a crazy situation like that is a great example. Your Dominator is going to... throw that cat aside. But your Dominator is going to spend a lot of action economy, so to speak, just trying to get the situation under control. Because you have no other defenses. This is still way too much for me to deal with without good AoE controls. And they're right there at the door, so it makes it very hard to get too far. This is going to be a little rough. I'm going to have to like go in there with Inspirations Flying, I think. I was kind of hoping more of them would follow me out here so I could weed them down a bit, but I'm not sure they're taking the bait on this one. So let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's get ready with the pet, because the pet's our best chance for AoE hold at this point. Oh, now the entranceway's kind of cleared out here, so we just got these guys. Oh, no, here we go. Alright. Poof. That's been a little cray-cray to say the least. We're going to have him confused, so we have a little ally on our side. Now, it definitely depends also which kind of controller Dominator you're playing. And I don't know about Earth time enough to know exactly how that one works. I'd have to take a look at it. It may just be not the best power set in the world. And I think my argument will be that I don't know if I'd ever pit the controller with a Sentinel. Maybe in the early levels where everyone just has a bunch of single attacks anyways, but Sentinels get some. Most Sentinels, depends on what you're doing again, most Sentinels will get some decent AoE kind of early-ish AoE damage, and my Dominator has, or controllers and Dominators really don't have hardly any good AoE at all. But single target wise, and a lot of these missions that you see me doing are pretty soloable even with just single target damage. They should be comparable. Dominators and controllers should be pretty comparable with the new method through those earlier levels. Just remember, like, in situations like that, there's no reason not to just blast them down as quickly as possible. But, you know, for a controller, that does mean having them at the very least immobilized so you can get the extra arcane bolt damage. So I don't know if it's wise to walk right by those two there. They may come up the elevator later and give me a problem. Alright, I'm going to turn off my visibility and run here to keep my endurance going as quick as possible, because half the time when I'm doing this darn door thing, people will start attacking me from behind. It's very rude. So you just want to have as much endurance as possible for that. Of course, breaking down this door is like watching paint dry with how tough it is. Doing really good for Thursday morning. Just grab your coffee, starting to work while you listen to Live Feed. Oh, well, there you go, Mr. Sloth. That's the way to do it, right? And see, we really don't have that much endurance issue when we have the toggles turned off for like stealth and stuff. Uh-oh, we got company here. Now, another thing on that arcane bolt is you kind of see me slotting it rather quickly. It's like most of my characters now, it's 5, even 6 slotted. You'll see me slot that up pretty heavily nowadays so that I get the most out of it possible. Because it is your bread and butter for that character. I knew these guys would bite me in the ass. Storm Pain sounds like a corruptor. Oh, hello, Rosethorn. What an original name. Now Rosethorn works for me. You know, the thing about playing Dominators and Controllers in a hairy situation like this is you've got to be able to, you know, kind of think like a strategy game almost. You know, think one step ahead. So you don't get overwhelmed when there's just things running in like this. And I will see what that temporary power I have there is in a minute. But I want to finish off these guys first and get my XP for them. I'm almost at 4 blips there. Alright, so the mission's pretty much done. We'll exit out. Defender. Oh, God bless your heart if you're soloing any sort of Defender. Well, that would be Pain Storm, I think. That's why I thought it was a Corruptor. I think if you put the Storm first, the offense first, it would be a Corruptor. And then their support powers are secondaries. Let's see here. So did that open up a new contact? Is that all there is to it? Oh, well, let's go back to Mickey the Ear and see if he has a contact. And what is this power here? A 0G self-jump long pack. How good is it, you wonder? Well, it's better than I suppose the free power. Not as good as the actual power. I guess that would be kind of silly if it was. I still take damage from falling. Most unfortunate. Excellent work, Mirage Monarch. You have spread mayhem in King's Row. Okay, so he did not offer me... He did not offer me a new contact, or if he did, he's very sneaky about it. And let's see here. I thought I had 2 Cap Diable contacts here. Now I only have 1. I might have out-leveled one of those. So that's also kind of unfortunate. And whatever have you. So there's also a couple more I could use this method on to get. But that's the bank robbery. I suppose. I guess I'm not very impressed by... Again, I remain nonplussed by the whole banker deal. And I'm sure somebody more knowledgeable than me can explain why I didn't really get a new contact out of that. Since, you know, you think they would have made sure that was a thing on your first go at it. But maybe it's because I already had the contacts from somewhere else, or because New City of Heroes basically gives you the contacts up here. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that, but that is what it is. What's in here? What is this? Oh. Well, this is interesting. You know, as much as I've ever played this, I've never actually been inside whatever this is. Do we have any indication? Is this their... Oh, it's an arena type of thing, maybe. Wow, this place looks like a fixer-upper. I think they got some work to do. You know, just because they're villains doesn't mean they can't take care of their city. Come on, guys. Give it the program. We've got people working at the counters here. What do they feel like working in these kinds of conditions? Could you at least have the janitor pick up the rocks there? I don't know. All right, well, those of you watching the YouTube video, that's the end of this particular story mission run. We got our lady up to what, level 13? I'll put her back in Pocket D so she can get Pocket D whatever goodies. But we got her up to level 13, so that's good. Doing some bank missions there from Mickey the Ear. And we'll continue to plug away at this. For those of you who are watching the video of this on YouTube, thank you so much. For those watching the stream, we're going to continue for a while. So, well, thank you all. Have a great day. May God bless you. Okay, so we're still streaming though. I don't want y'all to think, oh, Phil's leaving. It's just ending off that video there. Okay, only been back like 2 weeks. I've said it backwards. I feel like that one in TF's almost exclusively. Oh yeah. If you're doing Defender in groups, they're brilliant. Defenders is the only group now that I really struggle to solo out of the main classes, right? Not counting the epic vets or veets or whatever the hell they're called. I can solo just about any other class pretty decently. You know, even tanker. We've got some tanker builds that get through things decently well nowadays. And I can enjoy playing a few of them. I probably have less tankers than anything else because I still think overall they're kind of a meh solo class, which is fine because they're made for super team play. But there's a few builds I have that I enjoy playing on the tanker side in solo. So there is that. Gotta get that day job buff. Yeah, gotta get something on. Gotta get something on your characters. You do story content on Stone Tanker? That must be a little rough because Stone Tanker seems like something that would also kill a bit more slowly. As I say, I usually give them the Tootsie Pop test, right? You want to see the Tootsie Pop test? I'll show you the Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Pop test. You want to see the Tootsie Pop test? Let's show you a Tootsie Pop test. Alright, so this is my martial arts invulnerability, you know, tanker character that I made up. A flawed project. I need to send all of our money someplace else. Let me just see if we can find I think that's the mission right behind me here, right? So let's go into this mission. Let's show you the Tootsie Pop test, okay? And this is why I tend to rate tankers pretty low sometimes. So we have a lieutenant here. Now, to be fair, it is a slightly higher level than us tanker, but whatever. It looks like a +1, I think. We're level 40 to 41. We're gonna have to deal with that. All right. So I'm gonna try to get rid. I'm gonna taunt these guys. Let me get rid of his minion first. So minion is the priority here. Let's get rid of him. Oh, come on, just die. Alright. Oh, come on, did he really summon up a freaking turret? You have got to be kidding me. I don't want to fight a turret. Another thing that's going to take a long time. Oh, now we're just fighting the whole freaking room. All I wanted to do was to focus on this lieutenant, and I'm getting everything in the kitchen sink here. The good news is I'm a tanker, so I can probably tank it all. Alright, now you're down next. I'm trying to get down to this lieutenant so I can get to my point. And the dungeons decide to throw everything else at me. Alright. So here's a tanker. Let's pull him back so we have him nice and alone and all this other jazz. And let me make sure I got my inspirations up in case I need healing. Okay. So, here's the Tootsie Roll test. 1 hit. 2 hits. 3 hits. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits. So it took 9 hits to get to that, right? Generally speaking, if it's taken me 10 or more, that's completely unacceptable. The 8 to 9 range on a lieutenant, 7 to, whatever, that's 6 is nice. 6 is good. I can live with 6, but you do this across a few lieutenants, right? You don't just take the first one that you see, but you do this across a character's career, and you do the Tootsie Roll test and whatnot. And it's just that test against lieutenant. Now, don't get me wrong. Normally, when I'm fighting a group like that, I would have been doing some AOE, so that lieutenant would have already been worn down a little bit, and would have probably only been 6 hits, and whatever have you. Doesn't help that martial arts doesn't have a whole lot of AOE. But there we go. Yeah, and you're right. Martial arts. It doesn't help that martial arts on a tank is horrendous, but the damage should be comparable to most other tanks. So this is not the only tank that I have played and had these kind of experiences where it's taken me 9 and 10 hits to kill a lieutenant. With that being said, yeah, maybe it's just that a few of these kind of stinky winkies, or it could be it's level 40. I'm not sure which. On other tankers that I have, though, I've been able to get that down to, 6 or 7, and what have you. So it just kind of depends, on the tanker's power sets to a degree. So this the new Sonic one, by the way, if you hit them with Resonance first, you can get lieutenants decently quick. It's more of a single target striker, but yeah, it does pretty decently well. So if I go to these tankers here, now these have all been doing pretty decently well. However, notice that they're all in the 20s. I do not know necessarily, just by looking at this, how well they'll do in the 40s. With that being said, I do have a test server, or a couple of test server characters. I've tried a couple of things, and I think they've done decently well on test servers. So, but if you're taking 10 hits to get through a lieutenant, I just don't want to play you. I just don't want to play that character. If that makes sense. That's way too many hits. It just means everything's going to go slower. You're going to run into a lot more endurance issues. Your endurance, the endurance you use for a weak hit, for a hit that does little damage on a tank, costs about the same endurance as a light hit that does a lot more damage on a brute. So you end up with a lot more endurance issues. Plus, of course, you got more stuff. So going on. Now the question is, Stone, what level is your character, right? Oops. That's the old Yorin Corruptor. Because one thing I'm thinking is things have more hit points at the higher levels, but you don't have a lot more ways to increase your damage from 20 to 40. So you sold them to 75. So let me see here. I like this is my little tanking nugget. He's a frozen nugget. I should have named him Frozen Nugget. I swear, he's like a little nugget guy. Just a little tiny nugget guy. And so those things fell down around him. So this guy's AoE is pretty good. Some of those minions died just from AoE, right? He never got to them. So this one has been pretty decent to play. So this one's been pretty decent. Let me load up the test server, because I did a bunch of these on the test server as well. Or it's much easier just to say, hey, you're level 40 and give you some IOs and let you have at it, right? Yeah, the arena's a PvP. Yeah, not a PvP player myself, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So... Ooh, do I have them mostly on my main account or on my secondary account? Let me take a look here. My secondary account. Okay, let me show you guys. There we go. We have Ice Sentinel test. You know, you can tell we really work hard on putting these here. This is where I did the bio armor staff test at 32, right? And tanker, the tanker test. Is that the only tanker test I have on here? We have the fiery aura, right? So we have a couple of tanker tests that I've done on here. But if we pick, let's just say, let me just show you guys how we do a quick test for those of you who don't know. So just pick a tank real quick, doesn't matter. We're gonna tanker. Let's do. I don't know. Does it really matter? Dark Hour, more defense, strengthen you, good resistance to negative energy. One gives you some resistance, however its resistance to energy is weak. Offers no protection against knockback and immobilization, which sounds horrible. And whatever have you. Deflect, where you reduce your chances of getting hit. However, no sonic attacks. Okay, let's just do this one for now. I'm more curious about the secondary here, right? What do we got here? We've got like 20-ish of them. I have a dice on my desk. I'm going to pick one at random. Number 4. So, dark melee. Okay. Just pick a nice big guy right there. We don't really care what he looks like, you know. This is just a test guy anyways. We'll make him appropriately dark. There we go. And we'll call him Dark Tanker Test. There's an original name if I ever seen one. Do hero real quick. All right. Yeah. So some of these do a lot better than others. Let's go ahead and level them up to 40. So we'll go to freebies menu. We'll train him to 40. Okay. And all right. So let's go up to Lady Liberty and do that real quick. All right. And we'll go ahead and pick our, powers. We have Smite for this. Put some slots in it. We'll try to make this a little faster. If things would stop popping up, that would be great. We like it when things aren't popping up while we're trying to level. That's always great. Reduces all incoming lethal, smashing, all that other jazz. Great. Yeah, that's what we're doing right here. This is the test server. So you have to download this separately when you very first log or you first get the pop-up screen. You can download the test server, and that's what I'm doing here. And it's letting me immediately move this character to level 40 so I can go out and test it. So that's exactly what I'm showing you guys now. Power shield deflects non-physical type. Your defense, these things increase. Fair enough. Moving up to the next level. And I think we can, let's see, defense to smashing and lethal. We'll go ahead and pop a couple of extras into there. Let's see, we have our taunt. We need that. We're going to train up to next level. Yes, we don't care. Dampening field is resistance to smashing and lethal. So we'll put some things into there. Train up to the next level. We probably need to go ahead and just get our travel power out of the way, so we'll just do fly. Of course, the real power plays make sure you put 2 slots in fly right away. Make sure, oh, this is your mez protection. Yes, please. Definitely need your mez protection. No and ifs or buts on that one. And definitely could put a couple extra slots in there for, endurance reduction. Siphon Life allows you to transfer hit points from your foe to yourself. That will definitely make you more tanky. We do like to be more tanky. Do I have a video on this test server? I probably do have a video on how to use the test server and stuff, but I need to probably update it and put it into the new player training playlist. Would probably be the smart thing to do. Yeah, that would probably be the smart thing at the end of the day. So we have some psionic resistance and things like that with this. Not a lot of psionic resistance, sadly, but not a lot of psionic defense. I mean, we don't have melee and range defense. I don't see that. Because usually if you got range and melee defense, I think that would protect you from psionic. Because I think it just takes, whenever somebody hits you with a melee or ranged attack, it's going to take one of those if those are better than your, let's say, psionic and, you know, whatever, toxic or whatever defense. Now, resistances are a little bit more finicky, but power armor or touch of fear. Cause them to tremble in fear. Foes in this have a reduced chance to hit. Okay, we'll just take that guy right there. What do we have here? It's just a damaging type. Does do some damage. 35 points. So it's doing as much as Smite, but it's doing it as an AoE. On top of fear. That sounds like a winner to me, just looking at this at first blush. Power armor. Let's see here. This is another one of those. Max hit points on yourself. Resistance to all damage on yourself. Whoa. Okay, that looks like that's nice. Alright. Energize or Soul Drain. With this power on, you can drain the essence of all nearby power, increasing your own strength, will lose hit points, and add to your damage and chance to hit. That sounds like something you definitely need for a solo tanker. I don't think that sounds as awesome in team play. You're probably more focused on other things like defense. But that will work just fine for us. I'm just going to try to zip through a few more of these here. We're at level 28, so we still got a way to go. Drains hit points and adds to your endurance. Has more people playing right now than DC Universe? Oh no. Yeah, that's probably, sadly, true though. I believe it. Alright, so we're getting to the point now where we're getting some extra slots, and I'd probably go ahead and throw the first fourth slot into my first AoE. Energy Drain sounds really fun. I'm going to go ahead and do Soul Drain, Smite, Touch of Fear. We'll do Touch of Fear. Anything that's AoE, I definitely want to do another doodad in. He's got quite a bit of AoE for a tank. Feels like quite a bit of AoE. Overlord sounds like your big crashing power, which sounds horrible. Sounds terrible. Oh, and we have to pick like a new power set doohickey. I'm going to try this Assault. We talked about how Assault can add like an extra 10% or so to your damage. If you don't mind the endurance drain. You can definitely triple slot that for endurance reduction though. Alright, now that we finally got him all slotted out, what we can do is come down here to the freebies menu, and you can say give yourself a whole bunch of influence. You can also say there is a freebies menu. I believe there is a auto enhance with IO sets or basic IOs. I'm just going to go with basic SOs here because I don't want set bonuses to muddy my waters too much. I usually level up using IOs. SOs have about the same bonuses, I think, at 40. So we'll do those. Now, if we take a look at the way they enhance these up, there's using 2 reds and 2 yellows. Generally speaking, I would use 3 reds. Instead of two yellows, I would use 3 reds. So I do end up going over here and just buying a bunch and replacing those. They're practically free anyway. Who cares? Free. You see here we're getting a lot more damage. We're going from 157 to 184, albeit with a hit to accuracy. But unless you're fighting a bunch of really hard to hit guys, I'm not really sure. Now, I'm not going to really critique the rest of these. That's just one of the things that I tend to favor. Now we need to go, kind of beat something up. But first I need to put my powers in a way that makes sense. They love putting all these temporary powers on there. I don't care for any of these guys, really. So we're going to get rid of a lot of that. We'll keep that up there. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll get rid of walk. Who wants walk? Nobody wants walk. This looks like a single target attack. We'll stick that over there. Got a little touch of fear, a little siphon life, a little soul drain. Be honest, I don't know what some of this stuff does, but we're going to go find out. So usually you can run an Ouroboros, or you can just go out there and street sweep, because we just want to see how many licks it takes to get the center of a Tootsie Pop, right? That's my main question, as always. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, right? So we'll go to Callisti Wharf and try not to get our butts kicked, because it's level 40 to 50, and we're exactly level 40. Yeah, there's also accuracy buffs. There's ways to deal. There's using yellow enhancements if you are fighting that rare occasional red boss or whatever have you that's tough to hit. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and one of the things you can, of course, with your powers, you can always monitor your combat attributes. And one of the things I always love to monitor is my last to hit chance. And so, yeah, if I'm getting a bunch of low to hit chance, then I'm going to worry a little bit more. So we got some level 40 minions here. We'll just start to get used to the powers on these guys here. We'll try to do some AoE kind of stuff there. I guess it has like a little AoE icon on it, so... you got to make sure to actually turn on your tanker powers if you're playing tanker. There's a fun thought. Oh, I think I just hit the big crashing power, sadly. That is most unfortunate. Oh, these weren't bad guys? Are these bad guys? It's always hard to tell who's a bad guy or not around here. Well, I could have swore... oh, you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy. Okay, this is kind of confusing with the good guys and the bad guys all next to each other. Let's turn up the volume on this because it's really low. Okay, I want to go someplace where I don't have good guys surrounding every battle. Oh, wait a minute, there's a lieutenant. Of course, there's a bunch of good guys surrounding. This is really going to muddy the waters. I just need a place where I'm not dealing with a bunch of weird-ass NPCs, making my life more challenging, right? Let me put that over there. Let me put this over here. Let me put that up there. Put this down here. I think the UI is a little overskilled here. Good guys are... well, I get that, but it's too much. It's muddying the waters. I just need a place where there's just bad guys and not a bunch of good guys. Well, you gotta be careful. There's a level 43 boss over there. Okay, I think we got like a... well, see, there's a freaking lieutenant, you know, frickin' NPC dude, just give me some encounters without like the extra NPC help. I can't get a good test if every time I turn around there's an NPC helping. Okay, 2 minions, I guess. We'll just fight against these guys for a minute and see how this feels. So Midnight Grasp. Let me put that right there. Alright, now can I find a lieutenant? Is there a lieutenant around here so I can do the center of the Tootsie Roll test? There's a lieutenant. There's a minion. Okay, we're going to kill the minion first. Oh, aren't you cute? You've got... Isn't that funny? He's got, like, martial arts. Alright, so here's our... Oh my gosh, stop it with the pop-ups. Alright, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this a... That's a melee damage. I don't know if it's all good damage. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hits. That's pretty damn slow. Now, let me just take a look at these powers again here. And this is what I kind of talk about. Like when you're fighting solo and you're doing this over and over and over and over and over and over again, those 10 hits really do add up and they get frustrating. Let's see, we have these 3 first, then Siphon Life, Touch of this. Yeah, the only other thing he's got is this big hit here, which is Midnight Grasp is a really big, strong, beefy hit. This thing is also on one hell of a cooldown for a melee attack at 15 seconds. So this can help you start to get a lieutenant worn down. Yeah. But that's our center of the Tootsie Pop test that we like to do. How many licks does it get to the center? Now here's a level 40 boss, right? I don't usually do the test on bosses, but let's see how long this one takes, right? Let's taunt him over here. Come over here, buddy. Come, let's have a little chit. Oh, no, don't do energy blast on me. That might be my weakness. 1, 2. It's a boss. We could be here all day. We're definitely going to hit him with the big hit here. See, the thing is, if it takes you 10 to get through a lieutenant, it's going to take you, I don't know how many to get through a boss. The good news is, I'm a good tank, so he's not actually doing anything to me. It's a good defense tank. I should look at his defenses, because so far, between the fact that I probably also reduced his chance to hit, he's not doing a whole lot. But you can see my endurance is taking quite the beating here, right? Because it's taken so many hits to get through to him. And this is my big problem with soloing tankers. Heaven forbid you gotta fight a boss. It's like watching paint dry. I have gone through elite bosses, which are tougher, in half this amount of time with a brute. You know? Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, Stone, you're absolutely right, and this is why I put it in B tier, which is above average, because can he solo bosses? Abso-mother-effing-lutely, right? I'm in no danger of dying here, right? Survivability is up through the charts. The bad news is, and the reason why it's not in the A tier in my books, along with, your A tiers are Sentinel, Corruptor, Blaster, Brute, Mastermind, is because this is like watching paint dry. My Mastermind, which Masterminds are not the most damaging class in the world, would have been done way long time ago on that guy. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't, it's not 100% fair because he does have that stupid shield that was slowing things down more. But yeah, it's just to me it's like the tanker's just 10 hits for a lieutenant that didn't have a shield was too much. So let me be right back. My cat's gotta go down to the litter box. I'll be right back. Come on. Okay, I made it back. Whew. Now, one of the more interesting combinations, right, is bio armor with your staff. And let's bring him up to 40. I wonder if you can set it lower once you've set it higher. That's an interesting question. Train macro. Huh. I don't know what that does. I'm a little afraid to ask. Oh, let's just go back to find a trainer. Oh, let's see here. Let's just go to Atlas Park. I always wonder what different people use. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Brian. As you can imagine, some people don't appreciate my AI art because I'm killing the puppies. Don't kill the puppies, boys and girls. Don't do it. Oh, let's see here. What do we have to do now? We need to put some more stuff here. Let's start throwing slots anywhere at this point. Got some fun music back there in the background. Not too shabby. Oh, you know, a bad one isn't actually... Oh, we were going to take leadership and assault. We never did try assault on that other guy. And though I admit AI is getting scary good at some stuff. Yeah, it pretty much is. Remember when you used to do like 6 and 7 fingers per hand and the arms bent at weird angles? And now it just kind of works. It's still not great at picture composition, but yeah, how long before it figures some of that out? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Alright, so... I don't know what these forms are. What does this do? Well, that looks like it's giving me a headache. Okay, well, right now I'm just going to go out and try my Tootsie Roll test in the same Callisti Wharf that we just did the last guy, right? Yeah, Will Smith eating spaghetti, right. And so, yeah. Now, look, I mean, they may have a very valid point in terms of the environment and stuff like that. I think it's good to raise concerns and let your legislatures know, and they should be looking into it and doing inquiries. That's what Congress does, right? They pull these companies in, they do inquiries, and they try to get to the deep of, like, is it really impacting the environment? Is it really doing this? Is it really doing that? I think those are good things to do. I think it should be questioned. I think somebody should try to keep them in check. I'm absolutely all for it, right? Absolutely 110%. Sure, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. But don't sit there and guilt trip people to death who are using it. Holy cow, that one AoE he did practically took those minions out. Okay, well that was impressive. That was pretty impressive. Let's move these guys up a little further up. See if I can find a lieutenant. Hopefully this peace officer doesn't come and help too much. He is helping quite a bit. I'm gonna go find a lieutenant around away from these stupid dum-dums who want to keep helping me. I don't want to be helped. Now there's that same kind of boss guy right up there. So just for kicks and giggles, I want to go and beat him up and see if it feels any faster. We're not counting, so it's not as scientific. But I can already tell you this guy is doing a significantly better job of getting through this boss. And that's without turning on assault. Yeah, he's got him down to half already. But he is taking more of a licking because he's using... So this guy is actually going to die if I can't figure out how to heal himself real quick. He's got too many buttons up here and I'm trying to remember which one actually heals him. That's pretty funny. You are giving up that defense for the offense here. Oh, you know what? I don't think I slotted all of his stuff yet. Oops. Still, he is taking a lot of punishment. And now this guy's activated in vulnerability mode, so that's not going to help. Give it to the other guy. He wasn't going to go down. Oh, come on. Stop it with the deflected bullshit. Come on. Is this an accuracy thing? No, he's still doing it. How long does that shit last? Good grief. Okay, that was still a while on that character. Oh, they're... Well... I don't know which one of these is the defense or the offense or whatever. Let's see here. Can I just see detailed info? Doesn't tell me right there exactly what it does in a nutshell. Once you use build 3, I'm returning to execute on a storm. The attack will reduce damage resistance and tank smash. Okay, that sounds kind of offensive, so let's put it on there. Okay. Right. Let's see if we can find a lieutenant to do the lick of the Tootsie Pop. Preferably one that's not level 43. Yeah, the you know, this Callisti Warfare area. Oh, you know what? Can I do a radio mission here? Is that a thing? No? No radio mission? We've got everything but the broker here in Callisti Wharf. Most unfortunate. Well, here's a lieutenant. He's just surrounded by other shit. I don't know if I want to tackle all that on. Okay, tell you what. Let me go back to Ouro. Sometimes you just want to find a mother effing lieutenant by itself, and it's like, good luck. Let's try Founders Falls. They have some level 40 enemies there somewhere. If nothing else, maybe they have a newspaper mission dude. let's go, they do, with Detective Doodad. So I'll go to Detective Doodad here and see if we can't just pick up a newspaper real quick. Radio mission, whatever. I'm gonna lie down. Oh, yeah, that's always good to rest the old back. I like to rest my back. Gonna lie down. Yeah, see, these are level 37s. Alright, so we got the police radio. So let's find something to do here. This should produce some decent leveled enemies to practice on. Preferably lieutenants, so we can do our test of the Tootsie Roll. Aha, perfect. Exactly what the doctor ordered, a same level lieutenant. So let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm not even in offense mode. 7, 8. So in efficiency mode, it was 8 hits. Not too shabby compared to the other guy. Now, what happens when we put this in offense mode? This is in defensive adaptation, right? That wasn't even an offensive adaptation, so I was taking a melee penalty, right? Let me get rid of these guys here. Are you still alive? We'll fix that. Wow, one hit kill on a minion. Can't complain about that. Alright. Do we have a lieutenant up here somewhere? Lieutenant? So hard to get lieutenants when you need them. They look like lieutenants, but they're not lieutenants. Alright, so can we have a lieutenant? Okay, there's a lieutenant right there. Let me get rid of her little sidekick first. Oh gosh, it's one of these frickin' illusion bullshitters. Ah, good grief. 1, 2, 3. I can't tell what's going on, honestly, with all these illusions, though. You know, like, am I hitting her? No, she's healing up. This is bullshit. Okay, somebody please explain to me what you're supposed to do against those fucking illusions. Like, what's the game plan there? Because all I know is the screen's now filled with a whole bunch of things. It seems like I'm doing no damage to her. So I'm a little confused. What's the game plan there? With the red aura and fire blazing, it'll take 3 hits for a lieutenant. Yeah, if you got a tanker that's reliably doing lieutenants in 3 hits, you've definitely hit the gold mine there. I won't take that away from you. Alright, I'm going to try to concentrate on her. I'm going to go in there with an accuracy and see if that doesn't help. I have no clue. See, she's unaffected. So she's got, like, she's also got invulnerability bullshit, right? Alright, there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Now she's gone into invulnerability mode again, right? So we can't really count that shit. We just have to wait for it to wear off, right? That's, I guess, the only play. 4 and 5. And that's the end of the mission? Seriously? They don't make, I guess they don't make these things as they used to. Yeah, that was kind of a rough test, though, with everything that was going on. going to try a different one here. But you can see this is much better than that dark tank, right? Is it just like, this is kind of my argument when it comes to tankers, is some of them do, when it comes to solo play, some of them do really, really great damage and others just suck it. The martial artist, that dark one I just tested, when it takes you 8 to 10 hits to get through a lieutenant or more, and that's happening on a regular basis, then you've got a problem. I mean, maybe you don't mind waiting for 10 hits for something to die, then the problem, isn't a big deal. And you've got the endurance to stick it out. You need the endurance too, right? So if you do, God bless you. That's great. That's fantastic. So there's a lieutenant by himself. Standard freak show, standard shenanigans, right? So we'll get rid of this guy first. Are you still alive? Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he just healed himself, so that kind of sucks. 6. So 7, 6 to 7. Still not shabby at all. This is with offense mode and shit turned on. Tactics or whatever it's called. Now that's one on the lieutenants. I'm doing an AoE there. So ideally, another thing about some of these tanks, you can get some good AoEs in there, and that can help like that. So by the time you get to the lieutenant, if you're doing him last, he's already down to half health, and it should only take a couple more hits to finish off. Right? So it only took 2 more hits at half health. Not shabby. Now again, this thing is trading off some defenses, I think. Oh, we never did... Oh, wait a minute. Is one of these guys resurrecting? Of course they are. And of course it's lieutenant. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I love the knockdown. The staff is just so much fun. So 6 hits there. Pretty reliably 6 hits. And whatnot. Hey, how's it going? Made a brute with super strength by armor. Looks good early on. You have to test it further. Yeah, super strength is one of those things I really, really want to like. And I do like it. I just don't love it. But it is pretty interesting. I do have one of those brutes as well. I've been kind of playing with on the side. So let me go to manage enhancements here, and we can see we're actually missing some enhancements, and we don't have 3 reds in this guy like we do the other guy. So you can imagine with more reds, this thing would be even more of a killing machine, guys. So, and he'd have better defense with more of the defenses filled out. But I obviously when he's in offense mode, you are trading some substantial defense to get that extra damage bonus, which without assault is 21%. With assault raises you up to 36%. Why don't I see more tanks taking assault? Solo tankers taking assault, right? So my damage bonus with one of the biggest things about taking bio is to get that damage bonus, right? When you're in offense mode, 21%, right? It's a nice damage bonus, right? But when you turn on assault, look at the damage bonus in your character. It goes up to 36%, guys, right? Now, by comparison, if I chew up a red, I think it's going to add 25% to that. Yep, 25% to 61% total, right? Why in the hell aren't more people talking about taking assault when you're soloing? Particularly, well, in particular, tanks. There's a lieutenant there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he just healed himself. So yay, yippee-ki-yay. Would have been in 5 if he didn't heal himself. Damage bonus is 75%, and I think because of the staff bonus as well. Oh, look, we got our lieutenant. Yay. Four, 5. Yeah. Yeah, but you can endurance the hell out of that. And here's the thing, Karis. right? The more damage you do, the less endurance you need. Right. When somebody tells me they have an endurance issue, one of the first things I'll look for is, okay, what are you playing? You're playing a tanker, do more damage, right? Like, so let me put it to you this way: if this tank is endurance heavy and you're looking at his attack powers, do you A, slot them for a bunch of endurance reductions, or do you B, slot them for more damage? The answer is B, slot them for more damage, because you're going to kill things faster. You're not going to need as much endurance. If you still have, back in the old days in live where you could put anything you wanted without restriction, people would put all reds. You didn't see anybody running around going, well, let's do half reds and half blues so we keep more endurance. No, you went all reds. Because the faster something dies, the less you need endurance. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, brutes, yes, when it comes to brutes, you're a lot less likely to take assault because you're already got like a 200% or whatever it is from your fury. And assault just adds another 15% on top of that for a brute. That's peanuts. Now remember, let's say your brute did 100 points of damage base, and when you're raging, you add 200 points. That brings you up to 300 points of damage. That extra 15% only does 15% more on your base, which is 100. So you're going from 300 to 315. That's not a big jump. But for a tanker who doesn't have all these other bonuses that some of these other classes have inherent in the class, a bonus like assault is huge. Yeah. You can put another endurance mod and stamina. You can also, of course, reduce assault. Now, you haven't seen me run into endurance issues on this character, and again, this guy's missing a lot of things, right? And he could have endurance reduction in his defensive toggles. He doesn't have endurance reduction in assault yet. So imagine, like, in a longer fight, maybe I would need it, but the point is to make sure the fights don't go longer to begin with, right? So in a fight against a boss, this guy would be at a big disadvantage, a bit, and I would have to chew up some blue inspirations, right? But going back to the build screen, I'm missing a lot of slots. A lot of those toggles need to have endurance reduction put in, but check this out: with all these toggles turned on, with sprint turned on that I don't need to have, I'm going to go up and take out this standard one-person pack, right? With the lieutenant in it. And I'm not going to run out of endurance. Why? Because the freaking things are going to die too quick. They won't even know what hit them. That's what you want to see. My blasters never run out of endurance because everything dies so quick. And this guy resurrected. And I still have endurance to spare. With all those toggles turned on, still have it. Yeah. And yeah, we could do level 40 IOs. We're using, I think we're using IOs in this one. And we're not even talking about getting into set bonuses. By level 40, you can start getting into some set bonuses if you want. On a tanker, I might just to, because I think tankers need every little bit of help they can when you're soloing, just trying to kill things at a decent speed. And with all their toggles, they could probably use, for tougher fights, use some endurance reduction. But yeah, you can see why I made this one of my solo characters. And this is the test server. My real staff person looks a lot better than this. But this is why I chose one. This is a totally different experience than the athletics and vulnerabilities tanker and the dark tanker. This guy solos much better than either of those, right? So I think that's why I put tankers in the middle. With certain power sets, you rock solo. In other power sets, it's a lot more of an uphill climb. It totally is. It totally is. It totally is. Okay. Let's do a character spotlight, guys. I need to do a character spotlight video, right? We did Stardust the other day. Let me just see what we're up to now. So I've already done spotlights on Wildlight, on Stardust. I think I did one on Aquaforce. Did I do a spotlight on Aquaforce? Let me check my channel. I don't even remember who I've done spotlights on. Let's see. Playlist. Character spotlights. Videos. Wildlight, Danzig, Aquaforce, and Stardust. Okay, so we do have Aquaforce. Done. Done. So I guess it'd be Cindelia, my defender, which is a little hard to do a spotlight on because she really really struggles in solo. Oh yeah. Well, you know, here's my thing. Here's the thing, Brian, right? Like, since I play a lot of different classes and a lot of different things, right? My general attitude is, I think performance shifters and everything are really great. I think set bonuses are really great. But when I have classes, like you take Sentinel, for example, and I can go 1 through 50 with Sentinel without using any of that stuff and do really good in regular solo content at time, you know, at the normal default settings. If I play a tanker on the regular default settings and I feel like I need to lean on that other stuff to make it good, I feel like that's going to bump it down in my rankings. Because if I give an advantage to the tanker, I have to give an advantage to the Sentinel or the Blaster or the Corruptor. And I have to compare apples to apples. And we could do a different tier list on what if we let everyone use set bonuses. If I sit there and do a tier list and say, let's give everyone set bonuses, and we're still at default settings, then everyone's going to be A and S tier. If I say, okay, since we're giving everybody set bonuses, now let's talk about them all doing ×2, ×3 content. Ooh, it starts to look back to where we had it before, just about, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Oh yeah, this costume right here gets me a lot of compliments. I had people, when I used to run, so this character was used to run guilds, and I used to get compliments on her outfit all the time. But let's do a character spotlight. All right, let's do that. So, where's my recording button? Let's do a recording. Salutations! My name is Phil, aka JCServant, and welcome to another exciting City of Heroes video. Today, we're going to do a character spotlight on Cindelia. She is my Empathy Sonic Attack Defender. And my level, she's level 50, and there's some stories behind this character, as there always is. But as always, first we're going to take a look at the powers, right? So let's take a look at the build. Now this character was used to support other groups mostly, and occasionally in farms. So we have a lot of focus on healing people, regeneration, adrenaline boost, absorb pain. We have all of the big boys here. We got fortitude, but we're using it to hold some luck of the gambler, of course. We have recovery aura with synapse shock in it. What I don't really seem to have in this, I don't think, is we have a lot of doctored wounds, but we don't have the defender ATOs in this one. On the attack powers, we're using only 5. We're trying to keep that kind of focus so we can take other powers, and with enough, you know, between the recharge and whatever, these come up often enough. And remember, this character is mostly for support, so you're not going to see this, you know, with a lot there. In Sorcery, we took Spirit War. This is a really great way to give your tank some extra hit points, and we got that all up there. Maneuvers with some Luck of the Gambler in it. Hasten to keep things moving. We took Fire Mastery, so this is to help fire farming. So we have, you know, Fire Shield here to help out with fire resistance. Also gives some lethal and smashing there. Consume is always really good as well. And then for concealment, we took this mostly to meal some Luck of the Gambler recharges. So that's kind of an overview of what we have on this character in terms of her build. Now, let's go out and show you how this character works while trying. I put that in capitalized. We're going to try to solo. I got it set to -1 ×2. Usually with most of my level 50 characters, I'll do ×3 minimum. But we are talking a defender here, so we're not only going to keep it limited to ×2, but we're also going to try to do a -1. That has been bugged in the past. I'm hoping they fixed it. We're going to find out if it's been fixed, and hopefully not get my butt kicked. But if I get my butt kicked, I warned you guys, it's really hard to solo defenders, most defenders, especially an empathy defender, because a lot of your powers really don't help yourself. I think the healing aura right here can help yourself, but a lot of these powers just absorb pain, None of these really work on yourself, so it's really not a solo tune. Clear Mind, it doesn't work on yourself. It's so sad. It's just brutal. But she does have some of the incarnate powers, so that can be a little helpful. Let's go ahead and just try to find a radio mission, and we'll just go and beat these guys up over here, okay? And we'll talk about this character. So, the look for this character, I get, well, it's kind of dark out here, but I get a lot of compliments on the look of this character. The character's look is heavily inspired by X-Men, Banshee and his, I think it's his daughter or niece, Siren. They're both mutants with sonic abilities that would go around and scream at people and whatever have you. They didn't have any healing abilities, though, and so that's why Syndella is quite different. She is able to be support as well. So the look and the character concept is inspired by one of my favorite X-Men, and that's what it looks like up close. But ultimately, the power sets are a bit different. At least the primary there. So, but yeah, I get a lot of compliments about the look of the character. All right, let's go find some things to kill. So the story, as far as like about her build and all this other fun jazz, is, I was leading those guilds on Reunion at the time, so I wanted to create a character that could be supportive and help them along. Now I know kinetics is generally the meta for this sort of thing. Ooh, there we go. There's a bunch of dudes right there. But I like healing. I've always liked healing in games. I love playing like white mages and all that other fun stuff. So I went with empathy on this character because of that. And I think the volume on the game's a little loud, so let me turn that down a bit. And the empathy buffs are still generally pretty good. You're not going to be necessarily, I guess, competing with whatchamacallit, with kinetics in terms of, buffs of the year, but they're still very, very solid, and they can definitely help out a good group. I would take this character to lead groups, including Lady Grey and Arachnos, and some of the in-game stuff, and it did really, really well in supporting the groups. I remember flying around and just healing people after people. And you can see this lieutenant's taking forever to kill. We should do the Tootsie Pop test with the defender, see how many licks it takes to get to the center. Now, the Sonic powers I picked, not only because of theming, but also for support, because Sonic reduces enemy resistances, which would make my team do more damage. So this combination was all focused on making my party be awesome, right? Making them feel super, super awesome. So sometimes you just gotta get in there and give them the big scream, right? So she's dead, she's dead, she's down to a half. Let's see how many hits it takes to finish her off from a half. 1, 2. Actually, not too bad. 3, 4. So probably 8 hits to kill her altogether. That's again slow kind of soloing. At least I'm not getting my butt kicked. Last time I played Syndella in solo, I got my butt kicked so bad I logged off in frustration. So there is that. Let's give a little judgment here. Oh, she's got invulnerability, so she just no-sold my judgment. Because, shenanigans. Yeah, that lieutenant's there. We just found this out earlier with their little frickin'... They heal, they turn invulnerable. It can be really hard to kill these things. And she's doing it again, right? She's totally no-selling my... It's like working with The Undertaker in WWE where he just no-sells everything. Good news is I can heal myself a little bit. Bad news is I'm stacking up a lot of damage here because I can't kill her. I've been trying to just kill her this entire time. And now she's going to be a little pain in the ass and run away and heal. I don't think so. Gosh, that was like forever. Some people are really strong, though. I remember on retail there was a group of all empathy defenders that would team up and buff each other and be unstoppable. Yeah, I suppose you could really do that, right? So, anyways, yes, very much a buffing character. Sadly, I can't show that through this demonstration because I have nobody else here to buff with me. But I did want to take a few moments to kind of, with the character spotlight, to show you this character, and I really do enjoy playing this character. If there's a group that needs good support, I would definitely not be opposed to bringing this character again to help doing that, because it was a super fun character to play and have fun doing that with. Oh. Yep, she done went invulnerable again on me. And what, am I held now or something? There we go. She does that invulnerability thing quite a bit too. Now stay still and let me scream at you. There we go. Not too shabby, I guess, once they're no longer playing invulnerability games. But that's Syndella. Another fun fact about playing Syndella is I often like to just do it with flight turned on, which probably drives people crazy. But I do. I enjoy flying a lot. And now we just have her sit back and scream from the air. It was very much in keeping with the comic book fantasy, so it completely made sense to me, just the fact that I was doing it. Well, she's not doing too bad here in this solo run, so at least I'm not embarrassing myself on her showcase here. We could exit out, but we'll just show a few more kills and how that kind of works. And the -1 seems to be working here. We're getting minions that are one level below, so they might have fixed it. And sometimes you just gotta use the big bomb. I love Sonic, though. I love the screaming. I love the feel of it. I'm always going to be a fan of Sonic. But let me know what you guys think. It's kind of a shorter showcase because there's not too many stories there. And being that she's mostly a team player, there wasn't too much I could show off. I'm not sure the fire fits her profile at all, though. I can see myself rebuilding this character in the future. This was done mostly to help out with fire farms. I guess I could turn that visual effect off and not notice it. I think you can go and get that taken care of. But it does do the job. So I was able to help out in fire farms. I wasn't able to tank them directly, but I could take a few hits without immediately dying. So that was kind of important. But there's her incarnates right there. I'm missing that interface one, but we got most of it in there. But that's all I have for now, guys. You can tell me what you think about this particular character in the comments below. We'll get some more character spotlights up soon. Until next time, may God bless you. Okay, that's another recording in the book. Oh gosh, all the viewers are dropping off. They must have to go to work. We had 20 this morning. We're down to 7. Everybody had to run to work. Oh no, Mr. Bill, not work. Let's see here. All right, let's pop in. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's see, that was that one. Let me write that down. That is Cindelia character. And then we also did radio, or newspaper missions for Mirage. So we got a few videos done this morning. It's been a pretty productive morning. Has been. Definitely. Could probably get rid of Brawl. And this is what, a Dominator with Arcane Bolt? Interesting. Must have been feeling kind of froggy. We got lots of electric control. We're kind of light on the assault side of things. We're also light on funds. We need 2 more reds there. Does Sunshine have merits? She has 2 enhancement converters. Wow. Hey, been quiet. How are you doing? About to jump off here because I got to work. Well, I'll be back on later tonight. I will. Let me see what the map here looks like. We have not gotten the merit rewards around here just yet. How's it going, Ben? How's it going? How's it going? Well, I'm blessed this morning. It's a good morning. Feeling pretty healthy, though I could use some more sleep. But we'll get there. Got a busy day at work planned, but I probably will be, well, I don't know if I'll be streaming tonight. I usually stream on Fridays, but I should be in the server to chit chat with anybody who might want to run or stream on Discord. I could always stream on Discord. So I use Gemini for that, Kevin, and I got a video in the archive showing how to do that, and you don't have to look very far back because it was posted like last week, I think. Maybe this week, I don't remember. It's all been a blur. It has been a blur. It has been a blur. And there's our long-range teleporter. There's our 5 reward merits. Now I'm going to show you a fun little quick Ouroboros I do on every new character to test them out. Well, she got like a laser eye there? Well, hell, she's got a laser eye. I didn't know you get a laser eye. This is what you get for using randomization on characters. You never know what you're going to get. Is to get my shield mace taker up a few levels. Nice, nice. We were just talking about tankers all this morning, Ben, and I showed several different tankers at level 40 that, you know, some of them take like 10 hits to kill the lieutenant, and some of them take 6. And it's a big difference. Your tanker stuff that you pick makes a huge difference in how long you're going to be whacking at some of those lieutenants. But I do like the shield. I do have that shield and mace scrapper. And that's been a lot of fun. You guys have seen her before. Totally not Hawkgirl. It's been really cool. So one mission I do with all new characters real quick is I do rescue the mystic from the Circle of Thorns. You want to accept that? Hit leave. You got to go to Perez Park for that. But what you want to do actually is teleport to the contact, which is in Steel Canyon. And what this allows you to do here very easily is pick up the badge here, the exploration badge for Steel Canyon, right over this building over here. You're just gonna fly over this bad boy. I think it's the second set over here. There's a badge right there. You can hit real quick. That's gonna unlock Steel Canyon on your long range teleporter. And if you have 8 exploration badges from Atlas Park, that's your 9th one. And that would get you, you know, almost to the 10 you need. You'll get the 10th one here in Perez Park, which will unlock Perez Park while you're here as well. So, yeah. The new Sonic Melee, whatever it's called, that one, Sonic Melee has also been pretty good at taking out lieutenants from what I played of them so far. Now, I don't know if it's going to hold up by the time it gets level 40, but at level 20, it's been pretty decent. So. Oh, wait, I just flew out here and I didn't grab the exploration badge. I kind of zoned out there for a minute. Let me go grab the one in Perez Park that's easiest to get for me. Well, there's supposedly one over here somewhere, but there it is. I usually grab the one on the pier, but that'll work too. So this is a 1-door mission that gets you 3 merits. Takes you 5 minutes. You can actually farm this if you want. But I find it's at least good to bring my characters in here once and do it at least once. Let me grab that down here, move that down here. I'm liking the Stone SR Stalker. Oh, for the farming levels. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah. It's an interesting Stalker combination brought to us by the community, right? I need to play my new little never played, hardly touched, nobody will touch it power set characters that we made that night. Oh wow, this Dominator really dominates their endurance. This poor guy. Earthquake? We might just have a little earthquake here. Give me 1 second. Let me just finish this guy off. It's just a little earthquake, so let me see real quick. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
That might be one of the early tremors of an earthquake, right? Do you have like shocks before an earthquake? Estimated magnitude 4.0 in Wyoming. Well, that doesn't affect me. I'm not Wyoming. Yeah. The assassin's attack on Stalker does a lot of damage. Oh yeah, it does, Ben. I mean, the Stalkers are super fun. As you know, I love playing Stalkers. Their downside is they don't have hardly any AoE, right? But when it comes to just tearing stuff up, you know that lieutenant test I was telling you about? I literally take out lieutenants in 2 hits. 1 if I'm buffed. It's incredible. Like, why do I want to play a tanker that takes 10 hits to kill a lieutenant when I can literally do it in 1 hit with a stalker? It's just awesome. So, and whatnot. So, yeah, we might have had an earthquake here. I get very disturbed when there's earthquakes. I don't deal well with earthquakes. If you hear me screaming like a little girl, it's because, yeah, I have earthquake phobia, which is totally a documented phobia. Totally. Okay, I have to say, guys, my initial impression here, I haven't played this character before. I made this character up, it sat on a farm, leveled it up, never got around to playing this. But after just a couple of fights, this is extremely impressive. Well, if I don't die from just, you know, rushing up to enemies, but... Because even if he breaks my hold, he has no endurance. Now, the only thing is I don't have anything stopping his recovery yet. That might come later. But I definitely need something to stop his recovery. But I drain their endurance like that. Much faster than my Sentinel, by the way. You know, the one I play all the time. Which I like that Sentinel, I do. But holy cow, the endurance drain on this one right here is incredible. Let's see. So we have a foe immobilized, ranged AoE. We have Jolting Change, which is a foe knockdown, ranged AoE, damage energy. We have Static Feel, which is a foe sleep. So if we put that right there, maybe put them to sleep. Okay, well, he's asleep now. Yeah, it's electric Dom, and my early impressions, the first mission I've ever done with this character, is that the endurance drain on this is just insane. Like, a lot more than at least so far, the first few guys I really drained really big, and I'm trying to figure out which power it was that did. It might have been Jolting Chain. Minus 10% endurance, 50%, minus 50% recovery for 8 seconds. So Jolting Chain is the important part of it. chain fences, static field is a faux sleep. 50% for a little bit. So it isn't really static field that's doing it. Is it chain fences that's doing the heavy lifting here? Minus 10, minus some recovery. I don't know how he's draining them so quick. Is it the Tesla cage? Probably. Tesla cage, 7 endurance, 100% recovery. Huh. I don't know. I don't know exactly which of these powers or what combination is doing the heavy lifting, but I was just knocking their endurance through the floor. Now, right now, these guys' endurance isn't being very challenged very much. Yeah, everything has minus endurance. But you know, the thing about minus endurance is it doesn't mean crapola until they run out, right? An enemy with 10 endurance left over is still an enemy that can kill you. But those first few fights I did, I was completely draining them of endurance. And now that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So maybe it was a fluke, or maybe it's different enemy types. We have conductive aura as well. Let's see what that says. Recharge time 15 seconds, toggle, negative 14 endurance on target. And is that proccing like every second? Because that could be it right there. If I can hold, if I can hold an enemy down, I could test it. I'm gonna need a good hold. I have faux immobilize, I have faux knockdown. I think the thing I don't have really though is a super strong, great. Oh, Tesla cage. Tesla cage can hold them. Okay. We need a good hold so they can't fight back for a fact. Oh, and here's a perfect subject right here. So we're going to Tesla cage this candy butt. And then I'm getting close enough for my field to just hit him for a bit. And we can kind of see it's going down. 15, 15. Yeah, so it's like every second or two it procs. And then you mix that with the other electric attacks. But the key then is that I have to be close to people for that to really take hold, and that could be a little dangerous for a Dom. Still, it's pretty interesting. And the recovery does help a lot too. You're absolutely right. Even if they have endurance, you hit once, they won't get it back. Yeah, as long as you're assaulting them, a lot of the attacks have at least some short-term recovery stopgap there. So yeah, this seems pretty solid. And we're only at level 18, right? So on this character, level 19. So there's still a number of powers to unlock, particularly in the secondary. This seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Early impression. I don't know who told me to build this, but whoever you are, you're a smart cookie. This is already turning out to be pretty damn good. I might actually have to make this character like a real costume. This is mostly just a randomized, deal. Oh, he just sliced off half my health right just like that. Well, now he has no endurance, so he ain't slicing off anyone's health anymore, but yeesh, that hurt. That's the problem with being in melee, right? Like, he just whip out his sword and poke me. So it is a little bit of a dangerous lifestyle I'm living if I want to get close enough for conductive aura to do its thing. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sitting here looking at stuff and they're resurrecting and something's attacking me from a distance, so that's not good. Let me just pull back and see if I can get them to funnel a bit. Eat some inspirations there. What the hell was that? I had him held. I've never died on this mission before. Okay, I take back everything I say. This is the worst class ever. Clearly this is just terrible. Terrible, I say. Terrible. And this is also why you mail yourself a bunch of resurrections. You were just working on your reunion Dominator guide to 20 this morning. Oh, nice, nice. Now, why do you have a Dominator? Do you have just like a couple of characters on reunion and whatnot? What's your thinkology there? Out of curiosity. You might have told me before and I forgot because lots of things going on. Now, there was a guy around here, up there. Yeah, these guys were causing me a bit of a time here, so we're gonna cause them a bit of a time. Okay, I gotta figure out the endurance deal because I'm not draining. I drain their life before I drain their endurance there. If I can't get their endurance down reliably, this is a bad Dominator because the holds and stuff aren't great. So I need to figure out that whole endurance thing. Oh, apparently my conductive aura might have been off, so that doesn't help. But it seems to rely heavily on conductive aura. And I don't know how I feel about that, given that conductive aura really requires me to be close to enemies for it to do its thing. Seeing if I can lever the old-fashioned way. No double XP, no start vendor powers. My toughest thing, no power leveling. Oh, so you're doing the same thing I'm doing, essentially. Though I do use the basic start vendor attack powers if I really need to, but I'm not using double XP from the start vendor or anything along those lines. I am considering letting her, and is solo self-funded, but I am considering tapping the 11 million from the kitty bank just to get her team teleporter and mission teleporter. So I have 2 mission teleporters and cut down that travel time, especially for the streams. Nobody wants to watch me run around everywhere slowly. And that doesn't make the game any harder or easier. It's just quality of life. So I might do that. Yeah, that endurance drain is not reliable, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me try more static field, maybe. Oh, hello, bunch of bad guys. Yeah, it's clear that you gotta get in there close for conductive aura. I think that's what it is. It's a conductive aura thing. If you really want the stamina drain, that could be rough. Because that means being close to them. Hey, Puzz, how are you doing today? Added a little difficulty in doing this, which I don't play very often. Some interesting story arcs. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting story arcs. And on the bright side, the snake story arcs give you a lot of good early merits to get your character started. Unless you want to do a total solo self-found character and not use the auction house at all, but I think that might be tantamount to suicide. If you're to try to do this game and just craft everything yourself, I would wish you the best of luck in that. Let me know how that works out for you. I do like how somebody referred to this as the birthday cake floors or caves here, and because it's a 5-layer cake, and he's absolutely right, and it's horrible. Whoever did this needs to be shot. Yeah, I think you have to get in range for that conductive field to do its thing. So positioning is going to be incredibly important with this character so that you can... Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I hate this map. I hate this map so much. And you can't even see the holes because they just blend in with everything else because the lighting in this game is so not good. Not good at all. Am I on the top layer of the cake? Who knows? Yeah, layer cake cave, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm doing the Red Side story arcs with voice acting the entire way. I did the radio free opportunity missions earlier this week. That took me a while to get through, so all that's been posted. And we did some radio missions today, so I'll get those posted eventually. Oh, that's the person I'm looking for right there. No, Lieutenant's a little beefy today. There he goes. You just gotta lead her out. And this is an easy key to leave her out of. Sometimes you'll get an ambush on the way. And it's usually a quick 3. There's that ambush. Easy enough. Oh, fudge. I just walked out before she got there. Don't do that. Okay, it cleared. Okay, it said I got my merit rewards, so let me just check. I did. Okay. All right, so we're done with that. Task force. We can quit that task force team. And I'm at level 19. Okay. Well, I gotta jet off, guys, because I do have to work today, sadly. But I hope you'll join me. I might be on tonight. I'll definitely be streaming tomorrow evening, as Friday evenings as I normally do. Thank you for hanging out so much with me this morning, Jerome, Puzz, and KSE. And have a very good rest of your day. And hopefully you don't have any earthquakes, because earthquakes are bad. We don't like earthquakes.